Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, as I promised in my last review, I am going to be talking about the latest from Disney Animated Studios, being Wish, directed by Chris Buck and Fawn Veerasunthorn, starring Ariana DeBose, Chris Pine, Alan Tudyk, Angelique Cabral, and Victor Garber, amongst many other names. And this film tells the story of Asha, who lives in the Kingdom of Rosas, where every year one person's wish is granted by the King Magnifico, played by Chris Pine, and essentially she finds out there might be something a little bit nefarious to what he's doing with these wishes, which sets off a quest and many other things that happen along the course of this narrative. And look, I mean, I was excited for this movie, obviously, another Disney animated film, and the first one that they've taken the 2D, 3D animated combination and approach to animation, something, you know, similar to the Spider-Verse films or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And yeah, I was a bit concerned about how it was going to look, but the one thing I will say is this film looks pretty darn good. I mean, I think the blend, it doesn't play off as naturally as the other movies that I have referred to earlier, but at the same time, it's certainly something that they could play with in the future, and it feels somewhat refreshing to have that style be now present in a Disney film. But this is really more of a celebration of their centennial year. You know, it's the 100th anniversary of Disney and all that, and they're celebrating everything Disney, everything from the animated studios over the past 100 years is kind of being referenced and thrown together in this movie into the storyline, which I think is very, very compelling. I think that the story itself, the plot, has a lot to say about authoritarianism, surprisingly, and these leaders who essentially give their citizens empty promises and don't follow up on them. Interesting. And regardless, I think that's a great way to have approached the story, and I think there could have been so much potential in exploring that. And what they do explore, I think, is the best part of this movie, is following the story all the way through to the end. But to get there along the way, you have to endure a massive amount of cringe. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, this film had me at how excessively transparent it was trying. And it does not work. I mean, maybe my biggest criticism of this film are the songs. The first one I was kind of enjoying. There was like a cringy lyric here or there. I was like, okay, whatever. And then they were not only inserting numbers in the most awkward places, but the songs were so generic, had some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard in any Disney song. And I love the Disney stuff. I love the stuff with Alan Menken, you know, all those guys, especially from the Renaissance. Like, that music is so timeless, and, you know, people are still, you know, humming it and singing it today in their iconic tunes. There is nothing of the sort in Wish. It is absolutely vapid from a lyrical standpoint. The melodies are just garbage, absolute dog doo-doo. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were doing here, but these songs really could have been written by maybe someone else. I'm sorry, but, you know, especially as a songwriter myself, I don't see how these things can fly. Especially when you're trying to make a memorable film like this. I mean, Encanto had Lin-Manuel Miranda, and sure, you could say whatever you want about him being cringe, but at least he wrote some bangers on that soundtrack, okay? This has nothing of the sort, and it also doesn't help that these characters are pretty two-dimensional and are kind of substitutes for many other things we've seen better in other Disney animated films. And yet again, it has another instance of just stunt casting. Because, okay, here's the thing. I obviously, diversity, it's great to have more of it, and I will never complain about that. But I more so like to complain about the transparency that this is obviously just boxes they are ticking. Because some of these characters are just there, and they have no other, you know, trait except that maybe, you know, like they are, you know, a different race. I don't know. and yet again, I mean, it's not a huge issue, obviously, because I welcome diversity in film, but it's just sad to see how apparent they are and desperate to just check off boxes without really putting any thought behind it. And that's a little bit disheartening for me personally. But, you know, still, it isn't a major issue with the movie or anything like that. It'd be crazy to think that. But regardless, I mean, the story itself, like, that's the thing. There's just nothing memorable about these characters, except maybe Magnifico, who also has a terrible song. And I like Chris Pine a lot in this. You know, he plays a great villain, and he brings a lot of life to this character, as does Ariana DeBose, who is so talented. Really don't have anything negative to say about her. Her voice is incredible, and I think she brings a lot of passion, believe it or not, to the role of Asha. I mean, she's an Academy Award-winning actress. Of course, you should expect nothing less. And Asha's cool, but, you know, what am I going to really remember about her? Like, that's my biggest problem in this movie. And just how, yet again, transparent in another sense, that they are trying to beat you over the head with nostalgia and references that are just so shoehorned in there in really some of the corniest ways. And it's just, oh my goodness, I can't get over a lot that's in this movie, because for a lot of it, I really, really enjoyed watching this. But then every time they broke into a musical number, I was out of it. I really was just so, oh my goodness. And yet again, they do some very surprising things narratively here, which I really appreciated for a Disney film. It just sucks that it has to buckle under the weight of everything that has come before it, and the fact that they really didn't put much thought behind these references, and it just seems so haphazardly thrown together, which is not to say that it isn't supposed to be a loving tribute. I believe it is, but yet again, it feels a bit vapid in its execution, which is something that really bummed me out, because I love these movies. You know, I grew up on quite a few of them. I love Beauty and the Beast, and of course I've grown to appreciate classics like The Lion King, Tangled, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, you know, so on and so forth. But yet again, it's just the way they cram these things in here. And also, don't even get me started on Valentino here, played by Alan Tudyk, who plays the talking goat. And yes, it is just as annoying as you'd think it would be. He bursts out random jokes at the worst moments that are so random and don't even make any sense. And it's just kind of annoying to watch throughout the entirety of this film, when he's such an unnecessary character. He's there to sell toys. It's very obvious that, yet again, another very transparent thing about this movie. And I mean, Valentino on his own is cute unless he starts talking. And, you know, there's so many things about this movie that really detract me from liking a good bulk of the story. And that's unfortunate, once again, because I really want Disney to do more than just, you know, reference their other films and expect us to accept that and enjoy it. And look, that's not to take away from anybody who did enjoy this film, but I just think this film could have been so much more, especially for the 100th birthday of the Walt Disney Company. This isn't quite what they needed to celebrate such a monumental occasion. So I'm going to give Wish a 5 out of 10. I really wouldn't recommend seeing this. The only reason I actually saw this was because I've seen all the other films from Disney Animated Studios, and I will tell you guys, I'm going to put up my ranking of those films for all you to look at. I just need to rewatch a couple of things before I put that out there, but really excited to share that all with you, because it was during COVID where I really sat down and went through all these movies. And so obviously I definitely want to share my ranking, and let me know what you guys think when I post it, and let me know what you guys think about Wish down in the comments below. Do you agree with what I'm saying here? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you agree the songs are terrible? Everything you want to tell me and more, just throw it down in the comments. And of course, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel if this is your first time here. Would love you to join this community we've built here. I'm very proud of it myself. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to bringing you guys another review. Maybe something a bit more serious in tone. I do want to talk about the latest documentary following the war in Ukraine, 20 Days in Mariupol. Really, really moving film. We'll talk about that soon. And also, I want to talk about a Christmas classic, since we've finally gotten into the holiday season in the most traditional sense. A film that I absolutely love that is celebrating a very special anniversary this year. So please stay on the lookout for that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take it easy now.